Hello, I'm Dr. Manoj Bhatawdekar. I'm a psychiatrist.
Hello, I'm Dr. Anjali Bhatawdekar. I'm a pediatrician. Today, in this session on parenting, we are going to talk about how to handle preschoolers. Many times, the parents of preschoolers come and ask us, "It's so difficult to handle my child. How do I handle him?" Well, when we go on a journey with some fragile objects, do you remember what we do? We put this fragile object in a box and put a label on the box, handle with care. To put in simple words, the best way to handle preschoolers is to handle them with care.
And what needs to be handled with care when it comes to a preschooler? It's nothing but their emotions. A preschooler is unable to verbalize his or her emotions, which means these children cannot express their emotions in words. They feel anger, they feel sorrow, they feel joy, they feel fear, but they cannot express them in the words that we adults use. Hence, communicating with this age group is a unique art with rules of its own. And the most important rule is that we verbalize their emotions. Very often, their emotions are expressed through their behavior or through their actions.
Let us take an example. This is an example which I witnessed myself many years ago when my own son was a preschooler. There was a function in his school where all the parents were called. And it was a wonderful occasion. The children were dressed up, there were roses around. And then I saw one boy holding a rose in his hand, coming to his mother, and he started plucking off the petals of this rose angrily. Now, the normal reaction of a mother to this behavior would be, "Why are you doing this? Why are you destroying a flower? It's such a beautiful flower. Can't you understand?" But this mother was a wise mother, and she had seen the scene which had happened just before this behavior. This boy was holding this rose and he approached a girl from his class and he wanted to offer this rose to her. But this girl neither looked at him nor accepted the rose. So the boy was feeling quite sad as well as angry. The mother who had noticed this behavior realized the emotions behind his behavior. So she just hugged the child and said, "Oh, I know why you are doing this. You are angry and upset that the girl did not accept the rose." So, with her understanding of the emotions, she salvaged the situation.
Yes, the situation was salvaged just because the mother understood the child's emotion. Understanding a preschooler's emotions is not very difficult. It becomes difficult at times when a child expresses emotions in a coded manner. Their messages are often coded, and we need to decipher the message, understand the emotion behind it, and then respond. Let me tell you a recent story of a 5-year-old boy who was watching television during the COVID times. As you will recall, the news channels were flooded with COVID updates all the time. This child was anxious and he approached his mother, who was working, and she was working from home. He approached her and asked her, "Mama, how many people in our city would die of COVID?" The mother was shocked to hear this question and she asked him, "Why are you asking such stupid questions?" The boy kept quiet, continued watching the television, and after a little while approached her again and asked her, "Mama, how many people from our country would die of COVID?" The mother was a little angry and she said, "If you don't stop asking such questions to me, I will scold you. I won't talk to you. I'll punish you." The child was quiet for some time. After a little while, the boy again approached her and said, "Mama, one last question. How many people in the world are going to die of COVID and how many grandparents will die of COVID?" Now, the mother was really angry. She spanked him switched off the TV, and told him, "Go read a book." Here, the mother failed to understand what the child was trying to convey. This child had heard the story of some old woman in a known family who had passed away due to COVID, and he was terribly worried about his grandparents. All the mother needed to do was to understand where this child's questions came from. If she had understood that this child was worried about his grandparents, her response could have been different. She could just have hugged him and said, "Oh, you seem to be terribly worried about your grandparents suffering from COVID. So, we are taking utmost care to see that nothing happens to any of us. So, please relax." This assurance would have helped the child. We need to understand a child's emotions. We need to understand emotions before we talk to them. More about this in future episodes.